Hi, I'm Marin. My life looks perfect on paper. Great job as a marketing executive, nice apartment in the city, and enough money to travel whenever I want. Vanessa, my cousin. We hadn't spoken in 8 years, not since that Christmas disaster when she accidentally spilled red wine all over my white dress minutes before family photos. Just one incident in a lifelong pattern of subtle sabotage and not so subtle competition. Growing up, Vanessa was the golden child of the family, beautiful, charming, and manipulative as hell. I was the awkward one, the bookworm with frizzy hair who couldn't quite figure out how to make people like me. Vanessa figured it out, though. She'd invite me to sleepovers only to make me the butt of every joke, or tell boys I had crushes on them just to watch me squirm. By high school, I'd learned to keep my distance. So why was she inviting me to her wedding? I flipped the embossed card over, looking for some clue. Nothing but elegant calligraphy and the promise of an open bar. "You should go," my friend Lucy said over coffee. "Show her how well you're doing. Besides, it's been years. Maybe she's changed." I doubted it, but something about that invitation nagged at me. Maybe I needed closure, or maybe I just needed to get out more. 3 weeks later, I found myself at the pre-wedding cocktail party, clutching a glass of champagne like a shield. Aunt Deborah spotted me immediately, enveloping me in a cloud of familiar perfume. "Marin, it's been too long, sweetie. Look at you, so successful. Vanessa tells me you're doing wonderfully." "Vanessa talks about me?" The surprise in my voice was genuine. "Of course. She always admired how independent you are." Aunt Deborah squeezed my arm. "Between us, I think she regrets how things ended between you two." Before I could process that bombshell, Vanessa herself appeared, radiant in a designer dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. "You came!" she squealed, embracing me with unexpected warmth. "Jason, come meet my cousin Marin." The man who appeared at her side was handsome in that polished investment banker way. Perfect teeth, perfect hair, a watch that screamed money. "The famous Marin," he said, taking my hand. "Vanessa's told me so much about you. All good things, I hope." My smile felt stiff. "The best," Vanessa insisted, looping her arm through mine. "Come meet everyone. Rebecca's dying to meet you." Rebecca turned out to be a willowy blonde with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. As Vanessa's maid of honor and absolute best friend in the universe, she surveyed me with barely disguised curiosity. "So you're the cousin," she said. "Vanessa mentioned you might not come. Well, here I am." I raised my glass in a mock toast. "And we're so glad," Jason said, appearing at my side again. "Vanessa specifically requested you give a toast at the reception. Family means everything to her." As the evening progressed, I found myself surrounded by Vanessa's perfect friends with their perfect lives, all being suspiciously nice to me. Too nice. The compliments felt forced, the questions too probing. When I caught Rebecca and Vanessa exchanging glances after asking about my dating life, a familiar feeling crept up my spine, the same one I'd had as a child, right before discovering I was the punchline to a joke I didn't know was being told. The morning of the rehearsal dinner, I arrived early at the venue to drop off my gift, a crystal vase I couldn't really afford. As I approached the private dining room, I heard laughter. Vanessa's unmistakable voice carried through the partially open door. Can you imagine her face when she gets up there? Little Miss Perfect marketing executive with her sad, single life? I froze, my hand suspended mid-knock. "You're evil," Rebecca giggled. "But the slideshow during her speech is genius. Those old photos." "And the video compilation of all her awkward moments," Jason added. "The college talent show one is my favorite." "I can't believe she actually fell for it," Vanessa continued. "Did you see how she lapped up all that fake niceness?" "Vanessa always admired you," she mimicked Aunt Deborah's voice. As if. The only reason I invited her was to finally put her in her place. My blood ran cold. 8 years of silence, and she'd been planning this the whole time? I backed away, nearly colliding with a server. Somehow I made it to the venue's garden, collapsing onto a bench. "You look like you could use this." A man offered me a flask, tall, with kind eyes and a wry smile. "Thanks, but I don't accept drinks from strangers." "I'm Eric, Vanessa's ex, so technically we're both victims here." I recognized the name. The cheating ex she's always trashing on social media? He laughed humorlessly. Funny how she forgot to mention she was the one cheating, with Jason, who was my business partner. As we traded stories, a picture emerged of Vanessa more manipulative than even I remembered. Eric had lost friends, his reputation, and part of his business in the fallout. "Just so you know," he said, "they're planning to humiliate you at the reception. Something about rewiring the projector during your speech to show embarrassing photos and videos. And Jason switched your place card to seat you next to his drunk uncle who's notorious for accidentally spilling things." I felt sick. "How do you know all this?" "I still have friends on the catering staff." He pulled out his phone. "I've been collecting evidence of their games, not just against you or me." His gallery revealed screenshots of cruel text exchanges about other wedding guests, plans to deliberately exclude certain family members, and, most shockingly, photos of Jason kissing Rebecca at what appeared to be a recent party. Does Vanessa know about them? Doubt it. Jason's got too much to lose. His family's investing in their new house. Later that afternoon, Aunt Deborah cornered me in the hotel lobby, her face strained. "You know, don't you?" she asked, pulling me toward a quiet corner. "That I'm here as a joke? Yeah, I figured it out." She looked miserable. "I should have warned you. I just thought maybe you could reconcile. I didn't know how far they were planning to take it until yesterday. But you still didn't tell me." "I'm sorry, Marin. Vanessa has a way of making everyone afraid to cross her, even me. I wasn't interested in her excuses. You're either with them or with me, Aunt Deborah. Choose now." She hesitated, then squared her shoulders. "What do you need me to do?" "For starters, tell me everything about this wedding, every plan, every detail." As she talked, I texted Eric. "Found another ally. Time to turn the tables." His response came instantly. "Already on it. Meet me at midnight. Bring your laptop." Eric's hotel room became our war room just after midnight. Laptops open, we hunched over his makeshift desk while Aunt Deborah nervously kept watch by the door. "So, what exactly are we looking for?" I asked, scrolling through the venue's staff list Eric had somehow obtained. "The AV technician," he replied. "We need to get to him before Jason does. If we can control the presentation system, we control everything." I nodded, already drafting an email. "I'm posing as the wedding coordinator's assistant. Let's offer him double to follow our instructions instead." Aunt Deborah cleared her throat. "There's something else you should know. Vanessa's been telling the family you declined the invitation initially because you're jealous of her happiness. She's been doing this for years, telling each family member different stories about why others don't reach out." "Divide and conquer," I muttered. "Classic Vanessa," Eric agreed. "She did the same thing with our friend group after we broke up." Our plan took shape organically. First, we needed evidence of Jason and Rebecca's affair, something undeniable. Second, we needed to uncover whatever financial secrets Eric suspected Jason was hiding. And third, we needed to document Vanessa's pattern of manipulation. The next morning, I approached Vanessa with practiced innocence. "I'm so excited about giving my speech. I was thinking of adding some photos from when we were kids. Do you have any old flash drives or cloud albums I could look through?" Her momentary panic was quickly masked with a smile. "No need. We've already pulled the perfect photos for your slideshow. Just focus on your speech." "You're always so helpful," I replied, hugging her while slipping her phone from her purse into my sleeve. A trick I'd learned from a magician at a corporate event. 20 minutes in the bathroom was all I needed to clone it using Eric's software. That afternoon, I played the dutiful cousin, accompanying Vanessa to her final dress fitting, while Eric and Aunt Deborah worked their angles. Eric met with one of Jason's disgruntled former employees, who revealed Jason had been embezzling from their partnership to fund his lavish lifestyle and wedding. Aunt Deborah, leveraging her position as family matriarch, collected screenshots of contradictory stories Vanessa had told various family members. By evening, we reconvened with our findings. My research into Vanessa's phone was the final piece, messages between Jason and Rebecca planning their next rendezvous, along with cruel exchanges about various wedding guests. "Look at this," I pointed to a text thread. "She's been telling her bridesmaids to deliberately exclude her sister from activities to put her in her place. And here, she told her father that her mother refused to contribute to the wedding when actually she's been hiding her mother's checks." Aunt Deborah looked devastated. She's been turning us all against each other for years. And here's the smoking gun, Eric said, pulling up financial records. Jason diverted nearly $80,000 from our company to pay for this wedding. His parents aren't financing it. They're nearly bankrupt from supporting him. We worked through the night, meticulously assembling our evidence into 2 presentations, one that would replace their prepared slideshow during my speech, and another that would play during the reception's Celebration of Love video. The AV guy is on board, Eric confirmed, pocketing his phone. And I've spoken with the venue manager. She's agreed to lock the control room once everything is set up. Aunt Deborah nervously sorted through printouts of screenshots. Are we sure about this? It's going to destroy her. I looked her straight in the eyes. She was going to destroy me for entertainment. They all were. You're right, she said, squaring her shoulders. I've enabled her behavior for too long. As dawn broke, we finalized our preparations. Everything was in place. I went through my speech one last time, memorizing every word. Remember, Eric said, squeezing my hand, act normal. Let them think they've won until the very last moment. I nodded, a strange calm settling over me. Tomorrow, they learn that some jokes aren't funny. The wedding venue sparkled with elegant decorations, champagne flowing as guests mingled before the ceremony. I caught Vanessa watching me from across the room, whispering something to Rebecca that made them both snicker. Let them laugh while they could. The ceremony proceeded without a hitch. Vanessa looked radiant, Jason handsome, and no one would have guessed that beneath the surface, everything was about to implode. When the reception began, I noticed Jason's subtle nod to the original AV technician, the signal to cue up my humiliation. Little did he know that technician was now enjoying a paid day off. When the MC announced it was time for my toast, Vanessa's smile turned predatory. I approached the microphone, heart hammering but step steady. Family and friends, we're here to celebrate love and honesty, I began, seeing Vanessa's triumphant expression as she waited for the embarrassing slideshow to begin. And in that spirit of honesty, I'd like to share what true love looks like. The screens flickered to life, but instead of embarrassing childhood photos of me, there appeared a crystal-clear image of Jason and Rebecca kissing in the hotel hallway, time-stamped yesterday. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Vanessa's face transformed from smug satisfaction to shock. That's not all, I continued calmly. Let's talk about how this lavish wedding was funded. The presentation shifted to financial documents showing Jason's embezzlement from his partnership with Eric. Jason lunged toward the control booth, only to find it locked. And finally, let's address how Vanessa has been treating her family. The screens displayed dozens of contradictory text messages she'd sent, turning family members against each other for years. I turned directly to her. You invited me here to humiliate me for your entertainment. Instead, you've revealed yourself to everyone who ever cared about you. Chaos erupted. Jason's father confronted him about the financial deception. Rebecca fled in tears. Vanessa stood frozen, her perfect day shattered by her own cruelty. Aunt Deborah stepped forward, placing a hand on my shoulder. We've all been blind for too long. 3 months later, I hosted a family reunion, the first in years without Vanessa's toxic influence. Jason faced legal consequences for embezzlement, losing his job and reputation. Vanessa, abandoned by Jason and her fair-weather friends, tried reaching out with tearful apologies, which I deleted without response. As family members reconnected, healing old wounds caused by Vanessa's manipulations, I found myself surrounded by genuine laughter and authentic relationships. My cousin Sarah, who Vanessa had alienated from the family for years, became a close friend. That evening, Eric joined our gathering, now more than just an ally in revenge. Any regrets? He asked as we watched the sunset from my apartment balcony, surrounded by the family members who had chosen truth over Vanessa's facade. Not one, I replied, realizing my life wasn't lonely anymore. It was filled with people who valued honesty and kindness. Some toxic people never change, but we can change how we respond to them. Would you have exposed Vanessa and Jason publicly at their wedding, or would you have confronted them privately first? Is public humiliation ever justified when someone plans to humiliate you, or does it just make you equally toxic?